Nick Reiner waiving his right to a speedy arraignment and now will be back in court January 7th. This was Reiner's first time in court since he's been charged with the murder of his parents, renowned director Rob Reiner and his wife Michele. The judge granting cameras in the courtroom but not allowing images or video of Reiner to be shown. His lawyer, Alan Jackson, speaking with reporters right after exiting the courtroom.
This is a devastating tragedy that has befallen the Reiner family. We all recognize that. Our hearts go out to the entire Reiner family. There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case. Those need to be thoroughly but very carefully dealt with and examined.
For more, let's bring in KBC's Tim Caputo. He's just outside court there in L.A., along with our legal analyst, Brian Buckmeyer. Tim, what more can you tell us about what happened in court?
Well, Kira, this was a very quick court appearance. It could have been an arraignment today where you may have heard a plea of guilty or not guilty in court, but his high-profile attorney, Alan Jackson, pushing that back till after the holidays. Nick Reiner was himself in court, kind of shielded from view. As you mentioned, the judge wouldn't allow cameras to physically show him, and even Alan Jackson kind of blocked the view from a lot of the gallery in the courtroom itself. From those who did get a glimpse of him, they described him as showing very little to no emotion, answering questions quietly when the judge asked anything of him. He was wearing kind of a blue vest, often described as a suicide prevention smock, something with a kind of thicker material where you can't rip off pieces to potentially create some sort of rope or anything to harm yourself. As I mentioned, it was a fairly short court appearance itself. Wasn't much said there outside of Alan Jackson wanting to push back that arraignment. It'll now happen on January 7th.
Got it. So, Brian, why waive the right to a speedy arraignment?
Yes, Akira, waiving the right to a speedy arraignment would have a number of implications. It could be, one, the defense is looking to investigate this case, believing that there are some facts they can bring to light to both prosecution and law enforcement to try to mitigate what might be the initial charge. The other aspect, and as I look to that suicide prevention smock, could be to get a medical evaluation of Nick Reiner so he understands what's going on with the case and to see if there are any plausible defenses based on his mental health status. That could be another reason why one would waive the right to a speedy arraignment, kind of pumping the brakes, so to speak, to see what work can be done behind the scenes.
Got it. So, Tim, we just heard from Rob and Michele Reiner's two other children. What are they saying?
Well, they were not here in court, but shortly after this court appearance, they released a joint statement kind of describing the heartbreak and horror that has happened to them over the last several days. This is the statement from Jake and Romy Reiner saying, quote, "Words cannot even begin to describe the unimaginable pain we are experiencing every moment of the day. The horrific and devastating loss of our parents, Rob and Michele Reiner, is something that no one should ever experience. They weren't just our parents, they were our best friends. We are grateful for the outpouring of condolences, kindness, and support we have received not only from family and friends, but people from all walks of life. We now ask for respect and privacy, for speculation to be tempered with compassion and humanity, and for our parents to be remembered for the incredible lives they lived and the love they gave."
Wow. And Brian, there is a lot of interest about Nick Reiner's lawyer, Alan Jackson, who also represented other high-profile clients like Karen Reed, Kevin Spacey. We covered those cases as well. What kind of impact do you think that could have on Nick's trial, having this sort of celebrity lawyer?
While this court will be handled inside of a court, you cannot underscore the implications in the court of public opinion just based on who the victims are in this case. And I think as some attorneys are beginning to learn over the last 3, 4, 5 years, the court of public opinion can have an effect on the court of law. And so I think having an Alan Jackson who would probably clearly have access and connections to some of the larger networks to be able to put out his client's story in a way that benefits him in court, I think is beneficial. Of course, we're here talking about it. All eyes are on this case. And so I think someone who is seasoned and great like Alan Jackson, both in court and outside of it, will be able to benefit from his access and his celebrity status, so to speak, to helping his client.
Brian, thank you. And Tim, let us know if you get any more details. Thank you both.